Hey guys. So, yeah, obviously the first thing we need to talk about is the scene where immediately after confronting Orochi, it cuts to Oden basically 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 stripping practically stark naked in the street and basically and humiliating himself in front of the entirety of Wano and just overall humiliating himself day in and day out day in and day out from that scene onward. But if you recall, when this flashback started back in episode 960, I described Oden's characterization as someone who's rambunctious, he's clumsy, but underneath all of that, he's got a caring heart. And what we saw just from his introduction alone would basically come full circle eventually. Well, this is that moment I was talking about. The moment where Odin willingly became a laughingstock and pariah of the entirety of Wano. And he did it all for one singular purpose: to protect the people and the country he loved. He knew and was even somewhat afraid of what the potential of what Orochi and Kaido were capable of, and he didn't want to take the risk. He didn't want to take that risk and the risk of the lives of the people of Wano getting snuffed out. So so in the end he opted to hold back and hold off on acting just yet. But in place of that, he did the only thing he could to protect everyone while waiting for the right opportunity to strike back, which is again is humiliating himself in front of the country he loved. Of course, seeing that we basically know how this story is supposed to end, it's clear that despite biding his time with this effort, he's still inevitably there is an unfortunate inevitability to the idea that Odin is going to still end up acting too recklessly and miss his chance in order to claim Wano just once again, like which is going to lead to his death. And yeah, with us getting so close to that point, I'm definitely pondering in my head just how the hell the anime is going to handle the much more gruesome nature of Odin's death, because I don't know if it's going to be covered like I don't know if it's going to be like pretty much next week, but it's definitely going to be covered like possibly the week after that, I imagine. So yeah, like I'm like Odin's death was pretty fucking brutal in the manga, so I got no idea how Toei's gonna match that, frankly. Like don't get me wrong, like Prince Toei has been doing amazingly with this arc so far, but like the death scene in itself, the death of Odin, that's some extremely brutal territory, and I got no idea how Toei's gonna handle that, frankly. But maybe right now they haven't let me down yet with this arc, so I'm gonna hold, I'm gonna I'm gonna believe in them right now. And and yeah, even though it was absolutely fleeting, and even though it was fleeting, I absolutely loved how Orochi was straight pissing himself in fear just from getting his first real taste of what kind of a demonic beast Odin can be. Like, can be like, and like in that moment of Odin confronting Orochi, all the stories, all the rumors that were said about Odin came to full on reality, and just how and just seeing how much those legends that they always claimed Odin to be were end up becoming reality. Just in this moment, it was just the fear was just picture perfect. And looking back just from this singular bloodthirst fueled encounter, I actually genuinely believe Odin could have actually succeeded in retaking Wano from Orochi's grasp in that very moment. I, if it weren't for Kaido, again going back to what I said about Oden's recklessness. Now, but unfortunately, again going back to what I said about Oden's recklessness, it just wasn't the right time to do that. Like it's one of those things where it was one of those things where obviously Owen's actions were definitely great. What he had done, it was the right move to make. But at the same time, it goes back to the whole idea of there's a time and place for everything. And it just wasn't the right time in order for Oden in order for Oden to pretty much go follow his rage and his instincts and go on attacking Orochi. What he needed to do is he if you just listen if you just listen to the Akazeya in the moment, then they then together they could have retaken Wano like then and there probably if they had just come up with a plan, bided their time longer. I think they could have genuinely done that. But the moment Oden had let his rage consume him and burst into the palace, that was at the point where he had given away any tactical advantage he had over Orochi, and ultimately had led to the circumstances of how we know this story to end for Oden. The moment he had rushed into the throne room, into the palace, was the moment that he basically gave away any chance he had of retaking Wano. And yeah, honestly, I find it really fucking ironic twist of fate that both the copy fruit and the barrier fruit, the two devil fruits that would later be wielded by one of Luffy's greatest allies and his greatest fanboy, had not only originated in Wano, but were also used to stop Oden and usurp complete control of Wano from him. Like, there is a certain cruel irony just pretty much in that fact alone, that pretty much the two devil fruits we know to be wielded by pretty much Bentham, Mister Two, and and pretty much everyone's favorite fanboy, and pretty much everyone's favorite fanboy Bar and everyone's favorite fanboy Bar everyone's favorite fanboy Bartolomeo. Yeah, it's strange how those fruits would inevitably end up in the hands of those two. So yeah, a little bit of a side thing that makes you say, well, damn, that's pretty much where it all began for those guys, I guess. Um, and honestly, it truly is when and going back and talking about Orochi for a second. For me personally, I don't get me wrong. I pretty much know it's pretty much easy to hate on Orochi. Trust me, the man is pure trash, and in the end, he pretty much dies. And in some ways, it's inevitably probably going to be his fate that he dies like trash as well. But the thing is, when it comes to Orochi, it's so freaking complicated because in a lot of he is terrible, but I also have to hold back my rage towards Orochi in certain respects and remind myself that there are reasons for his hatred. We just have to wait it out and see how it plays it and endure it, at least for now. And it's kind of true. For as much of a piece of shit as Orochi is acting, and there are reasons for his hatred towards like Oden and the Kozuki clan. Reasons that, frankly, for as much as Orochi is the like is like the just despicable, dastardly, just unredeemable villain of the story, the pretty much because of how history is perceived in Wano, his hatred is kind of his hatred because of what happened in history is kind of bathed in its fair share amount of gray. Like the history of the Kozuki and the Kurozumi clan, it is bathed in a lot of gray area that it's not there is black and white elements to it, but not entirely black and white either. Like it's overall just not as cut and dry as we'd like it to be, despite what's going on the surface. But again, that still doesn't make Orochi's actions any less rage-inducing. Like, don't get me wrong, Orochi is still a rage-inducing fucking piece of shit. But I also have to remind myself of what I learned from the manga and where this is all leading with Orochi's character. You can still hate him, but the circumstances are just bathed in so many shades of gray. Now, another thing to talk about is that just from the title alone, we basically get this episode from two different viewpoints, Oden's and Roger's. and the thing I think is very poignant is it not only ties moments we've previously seen from Roger's life in the story a lot more fluidly, just based on what we know now, but now that everything we've learned from his final journey, it gives it gives us an overall greater idea of what exactly like Roger was thinking in his final moments before being executed. And even if Odin in the end acted too soon, I do like how Roger had such an impact on Odin's life that it served as a final push that Odin needed to truly gain the strength of will to fight back against Kaido and Orochi. So yeah, kudos on that too. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. If you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. You can follow me on any list or Crunchyroll. Dead Knight Vanny, signing off. Later, guys.